Okay, it's on. Great. Hi, everybody. Um, Welcome to the afternoon session. My name is Joshua Johnson, and today we're going to talk about some different strategies on how to teach very young learners of English. And by very young, I mean preschool age to kindergarten age. So they're almost babies still, have a hard time picking up the pencil, and we're going to try to show you some things that you can use to get them excited and get them really into learning English, okay? And here on the screen you can see these three characters. This is Louis. He's your average, ordinary young boy. This is Monty, who actually is a monster. And this is Anna, who is just a normal young girl. And these guys are all buddies. They all hang out together. They're really good friends, and they go on adventures all around the world together, okay? So we'll start off, remember those three because you'll see them a lot, and you'll have a good time seeing them later, okay? So today we're going to talk, I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction about me and where I'm from. And we're going to talk about a term called stealth learning, which you may or may not have heard of before. We're going to talk about the benefits of self-learning, and then we're going to go straight into some self-learning extension activities that we can do together here today and that you can use in your classroom with your students when you go back and teach at school, okay? So try to send you away with some real activities that you can use in your class later on, okay? So, I am from Compass Publishing, and we are an ELT publishing company, producing material for young learners all the way up to adult learners. Today we're going to focus on basically some of the young learner material that we produce, and that's mainly what we'll talk about. My name is Joshua Johnson, and I'm from the United States. I've been in the teaching profession since 2005, and I've not only have taught, but also done media development and teacher training. I held workshops in various countries in Asia on teacher training and how to do various things. So I really enjoy it, and this is me just a few weeks ago in China. I went all over China to do some workshops, and that was really a lot of fun, and now I'm here, so I'm so happy to be here, and thanks for coming today. So, when you think about teaching children, there's always a traditional way of teaching, right? That maybe you and I both grew up in, which was basically the teacher is at the front of the class, saying words, writing words on the board. You're reading words out of a book. So this is what you do. This is how you learn, right? This is how you're supposed to learn. Answer questions. Everybody is just very, stale and not active. So this is what traditional teaching has been. A recent case study from California showed that learners in California, 25% of them were English language learners. 15% have language-based learning difficulties such as dyslexia. 20% fail language comprehension tests, as low language comprehension basically is what they can't understand what they read. And the majority remaining learners classified as visual learners. They prefer learning visually, seeing something, and possibly hearing something at the same time. So, out of all the learners in California, we have, this is the groups that we just talked about who have a hard time learning. This is the traditional style of learning. So, traditional style of learning doesn't work, basically, in the world now. We can't expect learners to learn by just sitting down at their desk, reading a book, and being told they should learn, so then they're going to learn. It's not going to work. There's too many distractions all over the place. Cell phones, tablets, all the media distract students like never before. So we have to find new ways to excite students and to get them really, in a mood to learn. And how do we do that? Do you guys have any ideas about that? Okay. Well, that's good because today that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how do we teach without words, without the traditional way of doing it. Interactive software, informative feedback, visual, clear, touch, feel, and see. So we're going to try to focus on all the senses that human beings have and use those senses to create something very exciting and very, invigorating for students so they really want to be there and they really want to do it. What is stealth learning? So before we look, who can tell me? Does anybody have an idea about what is stealth learning? What does it mean? No? Okay. So let's look. Stealth learning is clever, disguised ways to introduce learning objectives through non-traditional tools. And this was developed by Laura Sharp, who's a Master of Education in the United States. She actually is really fascinating because she works with mentally challenged individuals who have some learning problem. And she went to school to try to find out how can I teach these students who have a hard time, even in society, they can't learn. So she coined this term, stealth learning. So it's teaching and having students learn, and they don't know they're learning. They're just going to learn. How do we do this? Through stories, games, extension activities, songs, chants, dances, and interactive software. So all these things combined can create something that can give students the stealth learning that they need and that will help them develop some skills these days. Children learn when they can relate to and care about what they are learning, right? This is when children learn. They can relate to it and they care about it. Not only children, but actually adults too, right? I can learn something if I relate to it. If I care about it, I'll probably learn it. Children learn when they are interested and invested in what they are learning. So they must be interested and invested in what they are learning as well. And children learn when they are engaged and activated by what they are learning. Stealth learning is meaningful, it's exciting, it's active, and it's fun. So meaningfully, learners can share intimate learning experiences with their peers. So something that they do as a group, they create memories as a group together. This is a good emotional memory that can relate to learning something. It's exciting. The releasing of dopamine in the brain has been proved to cause information retention. So when you enjoy something, your brain makes a natural signal to keep this information, right? So fun and excitement is very important. Active, being active here, there's a term that I recently discovered, and it was that motion equals emotion. So when you see someone moving and when you see them in motion, naturally as human beings, we have a natural tendency to feel something. Whether it's good or bad or something, we will start to feel something too. And when we feel something, we usually remember that too. So, and also fun. So trying to create a fun atmosphere for your students They want to be there. They can't wait to come back to class. They're super excited to be there, right? So you want to create that kind of environment as well to have the self-learning environment that you need. This old guy here is Benjamin Franklin. And he was some kind of famous guy that people care about in the United States. But I'm sure in Taiwan, he's not important and people don't really care about him. But he said something once that was kind of interesting. And it was, tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, but involve me and I learn, right? So involving your students in activities, involving them in the class will help them learn, right? Not just remember, but to learn. You want them to learn something, right? And this book that we've created, Treehouse, focuses primarily on self-learning. So using that as the key to the whole textbook, really, with lots of activities, songs and dances, and various types of material to get students excited and so to make sure that they can relate to the topic and actually have a good time with what they're doing. And I want to show you what I'm talking about, okay? So we'll play a little sample here for you of a chant . This is called a TPR dance, basically, but it's chant. This is a chant. TPR, total physical response. Have you ever heard of that before? Yes? Yeah? So total physical response, why is that significant? And what do you know about that? Does anybody have any information they can share with why is TPR, why is it important and why is it significant in learning? Yeah.
Use your body language to teach the kids and to make them comprehend the meanings of the words. And also, it is easy for kids to understand as a learning.
Sure. Yeah. To help them comprehend and understand, makes it easier to teach the students something. In this chant, every action that Anna and Louis did was related to what they were saying, right? Close the window, right? So when students see this action, hear these words, they become the same, maybe in their brain, right? So then now they know this means close, right? Or this means look. So when you make this kind of action, the word look comes into their head and they know it right away, right? So TPR is a real fun way for students to learn. All children like to dance and jump around and have fun, right? I mean, so do I as an adult, but I can't do it as much as a kid, right? But rather than sitting at their desks and just listening to the teacher talk, they'd rather be jumping around, playing with each other, having fun. So this is something that we try to incorporate in the text as well. And not only one, but two of these kind of animations are all throughout every unit in our book. So we'll check out another one real quick. So just now, you've never heard this before, I'm sure. You've never seen this before. I bet after this finishes, you'll know all the words. Sure, I'm sure of it.
How's the weather? How's the weather?
Tell me.
Look out the window, look out the window.
Let's see.
Up in the sky.
It's sunny.
That's the weather today. How's the weather? How's the weather?
Tell me.
Look out the window, look out the window.
Let's see.
Up in the sky.
It's cloudy.
That's the weather today. How's the weather? How's the weather?
You already know it,
Tell
right?
me.
It's easy to remember.
Look out the window, look out the window.
Let's see.
Up in the sky.
It's windy.
That's the weather today. How's the weather?
So it'll go on one or two more times. You can imagine that if you play this for your student in their classroom, they're going to know in this unit the target language was all of the things that were talked about in the song. How is the weather? How is the weather, right? That was a target phrase from that unit. So now the learner is going to know how is the weather, especially how to say it at least from this song. You know, look out the window. Look out the window. That's a target phrase in that unit. So each unit takes the target phrase or vocabulary and puts it into a TPR song and chant and dance as well. So that makes it really fun for them, and they like to watch it and have a lot of fun watching it, and it's cool. So I've seen that like 1,000 times now, so I know all the words. Like I see them in my dreams. It's kind of a nightmare, but it's interesting. So that was one. You saw Unit 1 chant, and you saw the Unit 1 song. Okay, so the chant introduces into the language very basic. Then this song is a little bit more long and complex. It's a 3-level course book for preschool type or kindergarten type learners. Anna, Louie, and Monty are the characters, and they go on adventures and on a story in each unit. The learners are engaged in fun and exciting activities, and without learning the target language and phrases, the learners cannot progress through the book, because the book activities require them to know the language and the target vocabulary. So they must learn that to actually get through it. And lots of colors, shapes, numbers, values, and CLIL content is also included in it. I won't spend too long on this. I just want to show you really quickly the page layout. It's, just to give you an idea what it looks like, and I think you probably already know. But just to show you briefly here. And this is the last page of a unit. So you can see the units are quite long, and they have a lot of different content and pages involved in them. So at this point, I'd like to begin to do some activities with you that you could use in your classroom, and you can help teach your students English very easily. Okay? But I'm gonna need some volunteers, and I'll have to choose you, I guess, if you don't volunteer. So let's go ahead and start that. And the first activity that I'd like to show you about is called Vocabulary Pictionary. And the purpose of this activity is to help students practice vocabulary and speaking. The organization is group work and it's suitable for large classes. The focus is speaking, and the material is basically the target vocabulary words. So you would pair words and put them in a bag. You can split the class into 2 teams and draw a line down the middle of the board. So in our case here, we'll split teams like this. Like this will be one team, and this will be a team over here too. So on our 2 teams, who wants to be the captain of this team? Who's the captain? I'm looking for a captain. Yeah. Okay, you can be captain. So, what's your team name? Yeah. What's your team name? Panda. Great name. Okay. Panda. Team Panda over here. Oh no. We got Team Panda. And then who'd like to be the captain of this team and give the team a name? Okay, so back here, you want to be the captain. So what well, by pointing at someone else, you'd be naturally volunteering, right? I thought that was meaning I wanted to be captain. Koala. So we got Team Panda and Team Koala here. And we'll keep these teams throughout the whole rest of the session. And we're going to see who's going to win at the end, okay? So in vocabulary dictionary, we have to split the class into 2 teams. We've done this. Give 1 team member from each team a pen and ask them to choose a word from the bag. Students draw the word as a picture on the board. The first team to shout the correct answer gets a point. The student who has completed drawing should then nominate someone else to draw for their team. Repeat this until all words are gone. Make sure you have enough words for each student. Okay, so we will just do this to show you how it's done. We won't go through the entire group. So, let's see here. Who would like to go first on this team? Okay, we'll just start with you. Come on up here. And you can come up if you like, sir. And so here, I'm going to give you both a pin. Let's hope that they work. So each team member is going to draw a picture, and their team has to shout the correct answer out, okay? And so you only shout for your team, and you only shout for your team, okay? So let me see. Okay, so when I say begin, the teacher says begin, then this is vocabulary from the target lesson that you've been studying, right? This lesson's vocabulary. They're both going to draw a vocabulary word. So you have to shout out the correct thing he's drawing, and you have to shout out the correct thing she's drawing. The first team who's correct gets the point, okay? Okay, ready? Begin.
What'd you say?
Anna.
Right here. Anna. All right.
Good job.
Awesome. So, yeah. So see, the koala team, she shouted out Anna really quickly, which means she was really listening to the lesson, right? Because she knew what it was. Good picture. This really looks like Louis, though. That's a really good drawing, right? You're really good at drawing. Wow. Cool. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you very much. Good job. So this kind of thing will get young learners up and moving. They'll have fun. They'll be getting excited, right? Because so you can imagine going through the classroom with all the vocabulary words and doing this, and then the teams are competing, right? So right now, Koala has 1 point. So they're basically winning. And we'll keep a running total of the score. And I'm going to erase this. So we'll keep the point total up here. So we got 1 point for Koala. Okay, so that is called Picture Dictionary, and we'll go to the next one. Hot seat. And hot seat is to help students practice vocabulary, speaking, and listening. And its organization is group work, suitable for large classes. The focus of vocabulary, speaking, and listening. The procedure is to split the class into 2 teams, which we already have, and elect 1 person from each team to sit in the hot seat, facing the classroom with the board behind them. Write a word on the board. One of the team members of the student in the hot seat must help the student guess the word by describing it. They have a limited amount of time, which you could set in your own classroom, how long you want them to actually do it. And play until one team is the winner, okay? So we'll also do this together. And since Koala was so quick and fast, they'll get to go first. So, team captain, who would you like to represent your team this time?
Paper, scissors, stone. Ready? Who those is? Paper, everybody, paper, scissors, stone. 1, 2, you 2, paper, scissors, stone.
You too?
Yeah, paper, scissors, stone.
Scissors, stone.
So who won? Okay, come on up here. The hot seat's very low. It's like a low seat, right? Okay, there you go. Have a seat. Okay, cool. So, now, I will put a word on the board, and her team must tell her, try to get her to guess the word, but don't say the word. You can't actually say the word, okay? And I will use some of the vocabulary from the unit we discussed today to try to get okay. And make sure you can't look back at the board, okay? Don't look at the board. Just look straight ahead, okay? But when you think you know what they're doing, just say it. Okay? Go ahead.
House. Treehouse.
All right. Good job. Treehouse. Okay. Have a seat, please. Treehouse. So there, she got that pretty fast, didn't she? That was pretty good. Koala is really on fire right now, so you got 2 points for Koala. Let's give you guys a chance too, okay? So come on up. Team captain, who would you like to go next? Who do you want to represent your team? Who's next? Yeah, you want to come up? Come on up. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Don't be looking over here. Just look straight ahead, okay? Okay, so, and you might not know this one. I don't want to make it too difficult. Okay, here we go. Do you guys know that one?
Go. Unicorn. Monkey.
Oh, wow, you did it. Okay, yes, Monty. Good job. Thank you very much. Good job. You got a point for your team. That's a great captain, right? Monty. So that's difficult because you just know Monty today, right now, right? You didn't know Monty before because he's just introduced to Monty today. So it's good that she knows Monty. So we got Panda with 1 point, and at this point now we got Koala with 2 points. So it's a good game. This is Hot Seat, and this is quite fun with your students to get them to remember vocabulary and remember what you taught them in the lesson, right? So another fun extension activity to keep them excited and keep them interested. Because they're very young, you have to do activities or they won't listen and they won't want to study, right? That's another one. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Okay, this one's a lot of fun too. It's called Shoot and Score. And it's also to practice reinforced target lesson vocabulary. Group work and suitable for large classes. You focus on the vocabulary. 2 or 3 baskets, a ball, and flashcards are the things that you need. Procedure is to have students form 2 teams. We have our 2 teams. Have students form lines, and the teacher stands at the front of the class. The teacher presents a flashcard, and the first student to speak the correct name of the vocabulary gets a chance to shoot the ball into the basket. The closer basket is worth 1 point. The basket further is worth 2, and so on and so forth. So I usually do 1 point, 3 points, and then 5 points. It's a hard shot, so give her points if you can make it. Okay, so then of course you total up the points at the end, and there's a winner. So we'll go ahead and do this together as well. And I need 1 person from this team and 1 person from this team to come up, so we can do this together. Okay? So who wants to come up? Maybe the same thing. Actually, how about, can you come up here? Yeah, come on up, okay. Yeah, you. Come on. The one who said Anna. Yeah. Yeah, come on. All right. Great. Okay, and you can stand, maybe stand right here. I'm sorry, no, you right here, and then you right here. And then you can look at me. And we're going to look at me. So I'm going to pull a flashcard out. Okay, so in this activity, I'm going to show you a flashcard, and the first person to say the correct word will have a chance to shoot. Okay? And so keep trying to guess until I say you're correct. Okay? Yes. Listen. Right? So it wasn't ears, it wasn't hear, it was listen. Okay. Good job. You have a seat, please. And since you got it correct, you have a chance to shoot and score. Okay? So in your class, something very simple like this is all you need. Some simple baskets, right? And so since there's tables here, we'll set it up on the table so we can all see what happens. Okay, so this one looks a little bit different, so it's 5 points. So it's worth 5 points, okay? This one is worth 1 point. 1 point and then 3 points. In your classroom, you want to make sure the students have a place where they stand, like where they all shoot the basket from, so no one's cheating or getting too close, right? So you come over here. I'm going to have you stand right here, okay? Right here. And so you can shoot for 1 point, 3, or 5. You want to try 5? Okay. Okay. So this is when you would have to tell the student, you know, we can't just go that close, right? Yes. So in your class, you would have to tell the student, oh wait, no, this is the line, right? And then that's like some discipline, so you can do your own thing, right? Yeah. This is the line, so you have to shoot, right? So she did make 5 points, but however, she kind of jumped the line, so we can't award the points. So, anyways, let's try it again, and with another word. So, can you choose somebody on your team to go next? You can choose somebody on your team. All right, come on. Awesome. Thank you. Who's going to come up?
Paper, scissors.
In your class, what would you do? How would you use team as one, right? What would you say?
I can help.
Okay. All right, so it looks like we have somebody from Team Panda who wants to join Team Koala. That's okay. So now you're on Team Koala, okay? So I'm going to pull one flashcard. You try to choose, say it, the correct word, until I tell you it's right, okay? Okay. You ready? Open. Okay. Good job. Thank you very much. Open, so you have a chance to shoot. And if you want to get the point, you have to stay behind the line, though. That's just the rule of the class, right? So you can shoot to get points. Only one chance. Well, in your class, because you'll do this with all your students, right? So give them one chance. If they get to, after you go through all the students, they can go again, right? So we're just trying to show. You want to go for 1, 3, or 5. Good try. Very good, very good. Okay. This game's a lot of fun because in your classroom, some students really don't like class, right? Some boys don't like to be in class, especially the boys who like to play sports and who like to be very active. When they come to class, they don't want to study. So this type of activity will get them maybe excited to learn because they can only shoot if they know the word. So they have to learn the word if they want to shoot. And they want to shoot because they like sports. So this can get your athletic boys who don't like studying to actually want to learn. So it's very good for that purpose especially. Okay. And another one we'll talk about here is secret challenge. And this is really a listening and memory type activity where you use short sentences or vocabulary words with the students. So the organization is group work and it's suitable for large classes. The procedure is to have students sit in a circle on the floor or at their desks. So all of us here are at our desks, so we'll stay there. And the first student whispers, the teacher whispers a phrase to the first student or an instruction. Then that student whispers to that student, all the way to the end of the class. At the end of the class, the student has to actually say the word or do the instruction. Okay? So we'll do this together and we'll see what happens, okay?
Do is I'll write the same phrase on a piece of paper, give it to both teams, and when I say begin, you'll begin, okay? So, I'm going to show you this paper. Only you though, okay? Only you. And when you know this, don't tell anybody until I tell you to. When I tell you to tell somebody, you tell her, whispering, and she'll tell, whispering, okay? All the way to the end of the class. Only your team. Only team Panda. Don't talk to them, okay? All the way back, okay? So, can you read that? Don't say it. Remember? Okay, wait. Now just wait. Okay, don't tell her. So, can you read this? What this says? Okay. When I say go, you have to tell him. All the way back till the end. When it gets to the end of the class, whoever has it correct is the winner. Whichever team, he gets the point. If both teams have it correct, they both get points. Okay? Did you tell her? Sure? Okay, begin.
Monkey is a monster.
What did you say? Okay. Monty is a monster, right. You guys both got it right. See? Good job, everybody.
So Monty is a monster, right? So this requires the students to be able to speak, pronunciate, listen, and remember all the way through all the students in the class, it's very difficult to do. I'm really surprised that you guys did it. That means you're all very good at English, I think. So, when I was in China, I did this activity in like many cities in China, and it was very difficult to get the students to actually, say the right thing. I'm sorry, they were teachers. They weren't students. They were teachers, like you're teachers, right? They were actually teachers too. It was very difficult to get them to say the right thing at the end. It was always very funny, like something totally different. So that's pretty good that you guys got to do that really well. So both teams would get a point in this case. So Panda would have 2. So Monty is a monster, in fact. Do you think he's a scary monster, or is he cute? He's cute? Okay. I wasn't sure, because some people said he's scary, but I think he's pretty cute, actually. Okay, that's Secret Challenge. That can be a lot of fun, too. Kids have a lot of fun doing it, because they get so wound up. It's quite fun. But the next one, flashcard memory. And this is using simple flashcards and to help learners remember vocabulary and speaking as well. It's group work suitable for large classes. And, take a set of 10 flashcards, 15 flashcards, however many you think your students understand and can learn. And make sure they really know the vocabulary really well before you do the activity. And then you have students, you have to repeat the words after the teacher for maybe not 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10. Depends on how well they know it. And then have students close their eyes. Teacher removes 1 flashcard, and the students must guess the correct flashcard missing. And 1 guess is 1 point. And this is actually same kind of thing where there's 2 teams, 2 different teams here, and there's a team, they both compete with each other, right? So let's have 2 more contestants come up from each team. Who would like to come up? Okay. You want to come up back here? Yeah? Yeah. Come on up. And how about over here? Who wants to come up over here? Anybody back there? I see you trying to hide. Some people are trying to hide from me. Anybody else from the other team want to come up? For more points, I guess? Okay. Well, so we'll just have 1 competitor then. And so, okay, we'll just do, yeah, come on up, please, thank you. Okay, so I'll show you how it's done.
So, as a class, you go through it together. Windy, 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 Anna, look, rainy, yellow, sunny, window, treehouse, Louis, Monty, cloudy, door, listen, open, windy. So we went through a lot of these together, right? And with your students, you have to go through it enough so they really know the vocabulary, right? Then, after that's finished, you remove 1, okay? Take 1 away. Now, you don't have to repeat after me. You have to choose the one that's gone, okay? When you think of it, say it.
Rainy, yellow, sunny, angel, treehouse, green, muddy, cloudy, door, listen, open. You do with Anna. Anna.
Anna. So if a student can guess which one's missing, then they must really know the vocabulary, right? It's a good way to check their memory. Good job.
But I think we have to get on children may know the vocabulary well.
They have to.
Yes,
Yeah.
so they can.
Yeah. They first must know the vocabulary very well. It's just a way to reinforce it so they really know it, right? Thinking, which one's missing, right? So they're thinking about this. Very good. Thank you. Wow. 3 points and 3 points, right? And in the very beginning, like, Koala was off to a really big start. They were really scoring a lot. They were doing really well. This team has really come back and did a good job too. So very impressive. Let's see here.
Okay, so how much? I put the time for one more, right? Okay, great. All right, so the next one is called board race. Okay. This is also to reinforce vocabulary from the lesson and suitable for group work in large classes, focus on writing and vocabulary. The first is to split the class into 2 teams, and each team gets a colored marker. If you have a very large class, you might be able to split them into 3 or 4 teams possibly. Draw a line down the middle of the board and write a topic at the top. The students must then write 10 words related to the topic in the form of a relay race. Each team wins 1 point for each correct word, and any words that are unreadable or misspelled are not counted. The first team to 10 points is the winner. So, obviously, this is for words and vocabulary that you've already studied, right, in your class. Topics that you've already studied with your students, or they couldn't do it. So things that you've already studied. Okay? And we'll do it together. And I wonder if I can maybe I need to use the board. So is it possible to raise this up? Awesome, thank you. Okay, since I'm having a hard time getting volunteers, I'm going to have to ask somebody to come up here. So, let's see. Would you come up here, please? Thank you very much. And how about you again? Come on. Come on up here. Huh? Yeah, you can if you want to. Yeah, go ahead. Okay. So I'll give you both a pin. Let's make sure they both work. There we go. Okay. And I would like you to write animals, and I would like you to write plants. Okay? So when I say go, write as many animals that you know, and you write as many plants as you know, okay? then you have to spell them correctly, and also they can't be, yours has to be plants and not animals. Okay? Ready? Set. Go. I'm a bad teacher. Fruits or plants? It's not an animal. Right. So how many do you have over here? Okay, 10. So whoever gets 10 would be the winner of this activity, right? So, but I didn't explain very well to her. So she had a hard time knowing what she was supposed to do. That's my fault. Because of that, I'll still give her points, and I'll give you points too, but let's see if they're all spelled right and if they all really are animals. A bird's an animal, yes. Chicken, monkey, lion, elephant, dog, cat, tiger, duck, and rabbit. Looks like you have 10. That's a good job. Okay. So we give you a point here. That's 4 points. Okay? Let's see how about you? Lavender, jasmine, lily, carrot, onion, green onion, and eggplant. Yes, these are all plants. So let's go ahead and give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to give you 10 points, or just 1 point, just like they got, because I didn't explain very well to you. You thought it was a draw and not right? Yeah, that's my fault. But you see how it's done, right? So the students should write the words on the board. Thank you very much. Good job. The students should write the words on the board in a relay race. So normally the first team that writes 10, that would be like, okay, stop, and then just check and make sure they're spelled correctly. Let's check and make sure they are in fact that in that category, right? So that would be how you would do it normally. So. And can you put that back down, please? And then turn that light off. Thank you so much. Okay. And before we finish today, I want to just... You guys did a great job with these activities, and I want to show you one more of these videos, just so you can have a good memory about something fun, right? What's her name? What's his name? Wow, you guys are so good. Self-learning worked for you because you learned that all through self-learning today with me. We didn't read the book. We didn't study the book, did we? We just did activities and watched some videos, did some chants together, and you guys learned some different things that you didn't know when you got here. This is called self-learning. And for adults, it might not be that fun. Maybe if you're an adult, you don't like to play, you don't like to learn like this. I understand that. But for kids, they all do. They want to do this kind of thing. So they can learn a lot in this method. And so we really like it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Do you have any questions for me or anything about what I've shown you today? No? Okay, well, that's all for me today. Thank you very much for coming, and if you let me know if you have any questions. You can always contact me via email. I think I have that somewhere here. Right, so this is our information here. You can get a hold of us there. So thanks again. I really appreciate it.